The siren tore through the night as Emma darted into the alley, heart pounding. She could see her shadow flicker against the wet brick walls, the rain soaking her thin coat. "I can't let them catch me," she whispered, gripping the package close. Every step echoed in the emptiness, a reminder that escape was a fragile illusion. Sirens blared closer. The city's neon lights refracted in puddles. Memories of betrayal burned in her mind, of trust misplaced. Across the street, a figure emerged, cautious and calculating. "Emma," a familiar voice hissed, "you shouldn't have come here." Panic and resolve collided inside her. With trembling hands, she adjusted the strap of her bag and bolted toward the fire escape. Lightning cracked overhead, illuminating the fear etched on her face. Every choice now seemed weighted with consequence. The alley was a maze of shadows, but Emma had no option but forward, driven by survival and the hope that this night could end differently. Rain soaked her hair and face as she pressed on, unwilling to surrender. Emma clung to the ledge, chest heaving, ears straining for any sound of pursuit. Her mind raced through memories of warnings she ignored, alliances she thought solid now crumbling. Each breath of cold night air felt like fire in her lungs. She remembered the quiet lectures from her childhood, the subtle dismissals from colleagues who never believed in her. The package in her hands wasn't just paper, it was proof, a key to truth she had chased for years. Lightning illuminated the rooftops, showing paths of escape. Shadows shifted around her, creating illusions of additional enemies. She clenched her jaw and focused, knowing hesitation could be fatal. The wind tore at her coat, but she adjusted her grip, aware that every decision from now would ripple beyond this night. In the distance, a bell tolled, reminding her that time was slipping through her fingers, and she had only one chance to survive. Emma's eyes darted across the rooftops, searching for any sign of help or threat. Every echo of her own movement magnified in the night air. She recalled conversations with her colleague, Lucas, and his blunt warnings about the dangers of her choices. "No one will wait for you," his words had echoed in her mind as she scaled walls and dodged puddles. Her thoughts tumbled over fears and hopes alike, knowing that exposure was imminent. A distant siren reminded her that the city never sleeps, that danger lurked in shadows and corners. She paused briefly, scanning for solid ground, every instinct honed to survival. Memories of her overlooked youth flared, fueling determination. The wind tore at her coat, a sharp reminder that she couldn't falter. With a deep breath, she leapt to the next building, muscles straining, heart pounding, embracing the risk that could either save or doom her. Emma landed on the next rooftop with a thud, rain hammering against her back. She rolled to absorb the impact, the package still pressed to her chest. Every sound in the city felt amplified, from distant engines to the rhythm of water cascading off roofs. Her mind flickered to her family, reminders of childhood promises and sacrifices. She could hear the echoes of voices warning her against this path, the tension of being overlooked yet undeterred. Each heartbeat reminded her that failure wasn't an option. Across the skyline, shadows shifted, hinting at someone tracking her movements. She scanned frantically, calculating angles and potential threats. Cold rain and wind tested her endurance, but she pressed forward. Focus sharpened with every step, eyes locking on the next building as adrenaline and fear merged into clarity. Emma sprinted across the rooftop, muscles burning, coat soaked through, lungs screaming for oxygen. Each step was calculated yet frantic, knowing pursuit could come from any direction. Her mind raced over past choices, allies who had betrayed, doors left unopened. The package remained her anchor, its weight both literal and symbolic, carrying the culmination of her risks. She remembered the quiet, observant advice of her mentor, the hints she had brushed aside. Thunder rolled overhead, and lightning painted the night in stark white, illuminating every shadowed corner. Fear mingled with determination as she scanned the skyline, every roof and ledge a potential lifeline. Her body trembled with exertion, but she pressed forward, letting instinct guide her. Every heartbeat synchronized with the rhythm of rain, adrenaline, and hope that this chase could end in survival. Emma landed silently on the fire escape of an abandoned warehouse, heart still racing. Shadows stretched across rusted metal beams, whispering of dangers lurking unseen. She pressed the package to her chest, the weight grounding her against the chaos. Somewhere deep in the darkness, footsteps echoed, deliberate and measured, sending shivers down her spine. She remembered Lucas's warnings about betrayal, each syllable now resonating with urgency. Rain pelted the corrugated roof, masking her movements. Every instinct screamed to stay low, to calculate her next move with precision. Her thoughts flickered to the files she carried, proof of deceit, corruption, and lies that could topple lives. The night smelled of wet metal and danger. Emma crouched, listening, waiting, knowing that one misstep could bring the world crashing down. Her breathing slowed but remained tense, the storm outside a mirror of the storm within. She scanned the warehouse interior, searching for exits, hiding spots, any advantage in the dark labyrinth of steel and shadow. The cold and fear mingled, sharpening her resolve to survive. Emma moved silently along the warehouse catwalks, careful not to make a sound. Every shadow seemed alive, every flicker of light a potential threat. Memories of missteps from her past sharpened her vigilance, reminding her that trust had a cost. The package felt heavier with each heartbeat, a tangible symbol of the truth she carried. Somewhere below, machinery hummed faintly, broken conveyor belts swaying in the wind. She could hear her own pulse, syncopated with the rhythm of the storm outside. Her eyes scanned exit points, searching for paths that could carry her forward without confrontation. Time felt both suspended and urgent, a cruel paradox of waiting and running. She recalled warnings from her mentor about precision and patience. Now, patience wasn't just advice, it was survival. Every step she took was measured, deliberate, a dance with shadows and wind. The cold steel beneath her feet was unforgiving, the darkness a constant challenge. Every breath she took was a gamble, but retreat was not an option. Emma froze when a soft scraping noise echoed from the far end of the warehouse. Her pulse quickened, and she ducked behind a rusted container, eyes narrowing. The storm's rhythm matched the pounding in her chest. She recalled Lucas's cautions, each warning flashing like a beacon. Never assume loyalty. Her mind catalogued every potential angle, every shadow that could hide pursuit. The package, once merely paper, now seemed alive with expectation, demanding delivery. Lightning flashed through shattered windows, illuminating crates, beams, and the faint outline of a figure moving silently in the distance. Emma exhaled slowly, forcing focus, muscles taut, mind sharp. She adjusted her grip, feeling the contours of the package against her palm, grounding herself in the reality of the chase. The warehouse, vast and dark, became a stage of suspense and strategy. Every footstep, every breath, every heartbeat counted. She calculated her next move, knowing one mistake could cost everything she had risked to reach this point. Emma pressed herself against a stack of crates, listening to the echo of approaching footsteps. Each sound carried a weight of inevitability, but she refused to panic. Memories of betrayal and broken trust sharpened her senses, guiding her through the labyrinth of steel and shadow. Her mind raced with plans, calculations of distance, timing, and risk. The storm outside thundered, wind howling through broken windows, masking her movements. Every heartbeat was a reminder that survival demanded precision. She reminded herself of her training, the countless nights spent anticipating danger and planning escape. A flicker of movement caught her eye, forcing her to freeze mid-step. Hide. The warehouse seemed alive, every object, shadow and echo, a potential threat or ally. She clutched the package like a lifeline, aware that its contents could change everything if delivered safely. The tension stretched, taut and unrelenting, as she prepared for the inevitable confrontation with the shadow closing in. Emma bolted when the shadowy figure lunged, adrenaline surging through every fiber of her body. Rain pelted the warehouse roof, masking her footsteps. She dodged crates, skidding on wet concrete, every movement precise yet desperate. The package pressed against her chest. She felt its weight grounding her in the chaos. Thoughts of Lucas and her mentor sharpened her reflexes. She couldn't falter. Her mind catalogued every exit, every potential trap. The figure gained ground relentless, but Emma's determination burned brighter than fear. She leapt over a conveyor belt, narrowly avoiding the outstretched hand of her pursuer. Thunder cracked above, lightning illuminating her path. Each heartbeat and breath synchronized with motion, tension, and survival. She raced toward the exit, knowing that the world outside was still dangerous, but it held the promise of a new chance, a path to truth, and the hope that she might survive the night. Emma emerged from the warehouse into the storm-soaked alley, chest heaving, rain plastering her hair and coat. The city felt alive, neon reflections rippling on puddles, as if mirroring her panic. She scanned the streets for Lucas, any sign of allies or enemies, and felt the weight of the package pressing against her. Thunder rolled overhead, mingling with the distant hum of traffic, a symphony of chaos. Memories of every warning, every betrayal, sharpened her focus. The package wasn't just a collection of papers, it was proof, evidence of a network built on lies. Her boots splashed through the flooded alley, each step echoing her determination to finish what she started. Somewhere ahead, a shadow moved, deliberate and unrelenting. She gripped the package tighter, eyes narrowing, preparing for the confrontation she had been anticipating. Every instinct screamed vigilance, every nerve alert, every heartbeat a drumbeat of survival. A figure stepped from the shadows, Lucas, his expression unreadable, eyes sharp under the brim of a soaked hat. Emma froze, pulse surging, mind racing through possibilities. Trust felt fragile, like thin glass ready to shatter. The storm's howl surrounded them, masking the uncertainty in his movements. Every memory of past advice echoed: calculate, observe, anticipate. Lucas's lips parted, but no words came. Tension hung between them, thick as the rain. Emma's grip on the package tightened, every fiber of her being ready for a betrayal, or an ally. Lightning revealed the lines of fatigue and determination etched into their faces. A fleeting silence stretched, broken only by distant sirens and the relentless drum of rain on metal rooftops. The city seemed to pause, holding its breath, as Emma weighed her choices, ready to act or defend. Emma and Lucas circled each other cautiously, the alley stretching like a stage for confrontation. Every glance, every twitch, every slight movement became a conversation without words. The storm intensified, rain lashing against their coats, hair, and skin, soaking them to the bone. Memories of prior betrayals clouded Emma's trust, but the urgency of the package forced action. She adjusted her stance, ready to defend, ready to run, ready to fight. Lucas mirrored her precision, the storm reflecting in his determined eyes. Lightning illuminated their faces in stark, fleeting moments, revealing the tension, resolve, and fear mingled together. Emma's thoughts raced. What if this was the final test, the culmination of everything at risk? The package remained a weight and a lifeline. The city around them blurred in the rain, neon signs vibrating with the storm's energy, every shadow a potential threat or revelation. Suddenly, a shadow lunged from a side alley, a third party, unknown and dangerous. Emma reacted instantly, diving to the side, package pressed tight. Lucas moved faster than instinct, intercepting the attack. The rain turned the asphalt into a slippery battlefield. Every second stretched, every heartbeat amplified. The struggle was chaotic, fists, feet, and adrenaline mingling in the storm. Emma rolled, coming up to face her attacker, every movement precise, honed by survival. Lightning flashed, illuminating faces twisted in determination and fear. The storm roared approval or warning. It was hard to tell. Emma's mind catalogued escape routes, allies, threats. The unknown assailant lunged again, but Emma pivoted, forcing them into the shadows. Rain soaked everything, turning the confrontation into a cinematic tableau of motion, shadow, and survival instinct. The third figure finally retreated, leaving Emma and Lucas standing in the rain, breaths ragged, soaked, and trembling. Emma held the package like a sacred relic, her eyes locking on Lucas's with a mix of relief and unresolved suspicion. Lightning streaked the sky, briefly illuminating the city skyline, a reminder that the world beyond the alley still demanded courage. Every sound, the rain, distant sirens, their own gasping breaths, reminded them that survival was earned in moments like this. Lucas nodded subtly, acknowledging unspoken respect and shared relief. Emma's hands relaxed slightly on the package, the storm's intensity matching the sudden calm between them. The city pulsed around them, alive, indifferent, yet full of possibilities. Every step forward now carried purpose, every glance forward a decision, to trust, to move, to survive. The storm would pass, but the truth in her hands would change everything. Emma finally reached the rooftop, wind whipping her hair, rain thinning. The city sprawled below, alive with lights and movement. She paused, holding the package, feeling the weight of truth and responsibility. Lucas appeared behind her, silent but supportive. Together, they surveyed the urban maze, understanding that their choices would echo far beyond tonight. Lucas handed Emma a small device, its glow illuminating their faces. "This will reveal everything," he said quietly. Emma's heart raced. Every past decision, every risk led to this moment. She nodded, understanding that revelation meant both freedom and danger. Emma activated the device. Holographic projections burst into life, revealing secret connections, hidden truths, and names that could topple powers. She gasped, absorbing every revelation. Lucas remained calm, letting her process a steady anchor amid the storm of knowledge. Rain stopped, leaving the city glimmering under moonlight. Emma and Lucas stood together, the storm passed but the mission far from over. They exchanged a determined glance. The package was just the beginning. Action and courage would follow, shaping everything that came next. Emma tucked the package securely, resolved. Lucas nodded, signaling readiness. Together, they descended the fire escape, stepping into a world that was waiting for truth and change. Every step echoed with purpose, every breath a reminder that the journey had only begun. Emma and Lucas reached the main control room, hearts pounding as screens flickered with encrypted data. Every secret they had uncovered seemed to converge here. Shadows danced across walls, echoing the tension in their minds. Emma's hands trembled as she prepared to reveal the final evidence. Lucas placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, grounding her, reminding her that courage was not absence of fear but action despite it. The hum of machinery filled the silence, a reminder of the stakes at hand. Emma activated the final sequence, holograms projecting critical evidence that exposed corruption across powerful networks. Faces, names, and locations spun in midair, overwhelming yet revealing. Lucas guided her movements, ensuring nothing was overlooked. They worked in synchronized rhythm, every gesture precise. The room seemed alive with energy, a chaotic symphony of revelation. Each pulse of light intensified their determination, binding them closer to the mission's purpose and the knowledge that the world would never be the same after tonight. The network security alarms blared suddenly, red lights flashing, alerting them to intrusions. Emma's heart raced as she navigated rapidly through the system, countering each threat. Lucas monitored the room, blocking shadows that moved unnaturally. Every second stretched, their minds sharpened to a razor's edge. Emma realized that not just exposure, but survival depended on precision and trust. Together they danced between danger and revelation, knowing one misstep could undo everything. As the last firewall fell, the truth streamed unfiltered across the screens. Emma stepped back, awe and exhaustion in her eyes. Lucas nodded, a silent acknowledgement of triumph and danger survived. They absorbed the magnitude of what they had uncovered. Hidden networks, secret dealings, and truths that would shake governments and corporations alike. Every heartbeat echoed the gravity of their actions, the weight of responsibility. and the liberation of finally exposing reality. Outside, dawn hinted at a new world waiting for them. Emma and Lucas exited the control room, the city bathed in early sunlight. The storm had passed, leaving clarity in its wake. They walked together, carrying the knowledge that would change everything. Conversations, alliances, and systems would crumble or adapt, all because two people dared to reveal truth. Emma held the package, now empty of secrets, symbolic of the journey completed. They exchanged a small smile, silent acknowledgement of shared courage. The world awaited, and they were ready to face it together. Emma stood on the rooftop overlooking the city, the early sunlight reflecting off glass towers, streets glistening from the recent rain. Every corner seemed transformed, mundane yet alive with possibility. Lucas joined her silently, their presence alone enough to anchor a moment of peace. They thought of the chaos they had unraveled, the secrets they had unveiled, and the lives that would now shift because of their actions. Yet a quiet pride settled in their hearts, knowing truth had been delivered, and the future was theirs to shape. In the quiet of the safe house, Emma and Lucas reviewed the files once more, ensuring nothing was left behind. Screens cast a soft glow on their faces, eyes tired but resolute. Each document revealed layers of corruption, hidden histories, and untold stories waiting to be told. They shared a brief smile, the kind born of shared struggle and understanding. Outside, the city hummed with life, unaware of the upheaval that had occurred, while inside, the air was thick with anticipation, the calm before the next challenge they would inevitably face. As night fell, Emma and Lucas walked through deserted streets, the air crisp and filled with the scent of rain-soaked asphalt. Neon signs flickered faintly, casting fragmented colors on wet pavement. They spoke softly of dreams yet unrealized, and the weight of the responsibility they now carried. Each step echoed their determination to protect truth, not for glory, but for justice. Despite exhaustion, there was a renewed energy, a sense that their journey had only begun and that the world, fragile as it was, could be guided towards something better. In a small, dimly lit cafe, Emma and Lucas shared a quiet moment, sipping warm drinks as rain streaked the windows. Conversations around them blurred into background noise, irrelevant to their focus. They spoke little, yet every glance conveyed trust, gratitude, and a shared understanding of the battles fought. The world outside seemed calmer now, as if holding its breath in response to their victories. In that simple, intimate space, they allowed themselves a rare moment of human connection, knowing that the storm they had weathered had left them forever changed. Emma and Lucas finally stepped outside as the storm cleared entirely, golden rays of morning piercing the clouds. The city shimmered with renewed life, indifferent yet beautiful. They paused, feeling the weight of everything they had accomplished and the responsibility that lingered. Without a word, they exchanged a look of mutual respect and resolve. The journey had changed them, revealing strength, courage, and the power of truth. As they walked toward the horizon, the city stretched before them like a canvas, full of possibilities, challenges, and hope. Emma and Lucas arrived at the riverside park, sunlight bouncing off rippling water, leaves rustling gently in a fresh breeze. Children laughed in the distance, and the city felt alive yet peaceful, a stark contrast to the chaos they had faced. They walked slowly along the cobblestone path, reflecting on the long journey that had tested their courage, wit, and trust. Every step reminded them of sacrifices made and victories won. The air carried a sense of hope, and they felt the weight of responsibility lifted slightly, replaced by a quiet excitement for the life they could now build together. Sitting on a worn wooden bench, they shared stories of what they imagined for the future, dreams once hidden beneath layers of fear and uncertainty. Their voices were soft but full of conviction, carrying laughter and gentle debates. Emma traced the edge of the bench with her finger, thinking about the lives they had touched and changed. Lucas's gaze lingered on the river, reflecting a sense of quiet determination and vision. Time seemed to slow, allowing them to savor this rare tranquility. The city hummed in the background, indifferent to their plans, yet providing a canvas for their ambitions. As the sun began its descent, casting golden hues across the city, Emma and Lucas stood by the water's edge. They observed the boats drifting lazily, seagulls circling above, and the subtle glow of lamplights flickering on. Conversations around them faded into a distant murmur, and the rhythm of life seemed suspended for a moment. Their hands brushed, a simple gesture resonating with trust and shared history. They spoke of unfinished goals and the lessons they had learned, acknowledging that while the path ahead remained uncertain, they were ready to face it together, fortified by experience and unshakable companionship. Twilight fell, and the city lights began to shimmer like constellations fallen to earth. Emma and Lucas walked along the promenade, the cool evening air mingling with the faint scent of river mist. Each conversation became more reflective, exploring morality, justice, and the ways their actions had rippled through lives. Emma glanced at Lucas, noticing a subtle vulnerability beneath his composed exterior, and offered a reassuring smile. Their journey had forged unbreakable bonds, tempered by hardship and illuminated by moments of clarity. In this quiet hour, they felt the delicate balance between responsibility and freedom, and the courage to step forward into an uncertain yet promising world. Under the starlit sky, Emma and Lucas paused at the end of the pier, gazing at the vast expanse of river and city beyond. Stars reflected in the water, shimmering with infinite possibilities. Silence enveloped them, comforting rather than empty, filled with unspoken understanding. They spoke of hope, resilience, and the worlds they wished to create, knowing that each decision carried weight, but also opportunity. The night seemed to promise that no matter the challenges ahead, they would face them together, guided by the lessons of the past and the courage to embrace the unknown with unwavering determination and trust.